Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, and welcome to another episode of Jacob Walks Over a Bridge. I'm Jacob. I'm currently walking over a bridge. And do you smell that brotherly love? It's because I'm in Philadelphia. It's been a long time coming, I guess. It's been over 3 years since I last was here, and actually, I was here with you. I was the date of my first ever interview with a good friend of the pod, Andrew. So it's been a little while, but it's nice to be back. Definitely. Things feel different. Things feel the same. I was able to get my breakfast pretzels. I found this when I came 3 years ago. There's an industrial bakery where they bake a lot of pretzels for other people to sell, other businesses to sell, and then they sell whatever's left over. It's only open from 4 to noon, and when I was here last, each pretzel only cost 25 cents. It's a nice sized pretzel. It's nice, soft, fresh. Definitely, it's warm pretzel. It was definitely nice, but went there again. They upped it to, I think it was 70 cents when I got it. So, I guess like with everything these days, inflation has taken over. But I could spare an extra 45 cents to enjoy a good pretzel. And this time I'm not on, I think last time I was here, if I remember correctly, I was on the Market Street Bridge, which I think is one of the nicer bridges over the Schuylkill River. It's one of those names that they make intentionally hard to say. A friend once told me that during World War II they used to out spies that from other countries that said they were from the Philly area by asking them to pronounce how to say the name of this river. The Schuylkill, I think that's how you say it, and I'm probably going to get corrected when people 40 years from now listen to this and write in whatever comment sections exist 40 years from now. But last time I was walking across the Market Street Bridge, and now I'm on Google Maps was not very helpful coming up with the name of this bridge, so I'm going to just imagine it's the Chestnut Street Bridge because I'm walking all over the bridge that's connecting Chestnut Street from one side to the other of the river. I was expecting it was actually going to be pretty hot, but right now, over the bridge, even with no shade whatsoever to speak of, it's not too hot. It's going to be a hot one today. It's one of those weird instances where, it was 70s a couple days ago, then it's going to be 90 something today, and then by the end of the week, it's going to be back down to the 70s. This is me on my week off in preparation of going down for another friend of the pod, Alex Hoffman's wedding. This is what I do with my vacations. I just take the train and walk over bridges, and that's about it. Not a very wide river. I get how it's supposed to be the lifeblood of the city, but not very big. Not everything could be the Hudson. So one thing I don't like about the way that the city's laid out is that very few walk signs. I guess coming from New York, got used to every single intersection with a stoplight having a walk sign or do not walk sign, and here pedestrians share that for the most part, at least from the areas I've been walking around, have shared it with the streetlights, and I don't really remember that, but my memory's not that good to begin with. But that's definitely something I do not enjoy. I like having that little countdown, being able to see how long I have. And I have heard that it's here. No. Because I got bored, and killing time before Kung Fu Tea opens at 11. I walked to the other side of the bridge and I found a plaque thinking that this is where they were going to say the name of the bridge, but no, it's just City of Philadelphia, Department of Streets, 1957, Richardson Dilworth, the mayor, David M. Smallwood, street commissioner, Frederick T. Thorpe, Jr., chief engineer and surveyor, Noel W. Willis, bridge engineer. No, not Noel. Did not see someone sneak up on me there while I was doing my old-timey voice. I guess this is something I can do too. So they've got a nice walkway along the Schuylkill. Walk down there. Oh yeah, but stop signs, not walk signs. Don't like having to share it with the cars. And I guess in New York now, they've got a nice thing going where they've got, in many instances, unless there's a turn-only lane or light, they've got delayed greens for a lot of streets, so you have a little bit of extra time. That's not really the case here. So walking along the streets, not as easy, but I guess we make do. Alright, so now, like I was saying before, they've got walkways along the riverbank. They got a nice long ramp, which I guess is a ramp sound like a slopey bridge. So I'll walk a little bit along there, and then, so I think I had to go north anyway for bubble tea. It's gonna be hot, and so I'm going to a Phillies game later tonight, which I don't know how that was the first MLB game I've been to this year. I mean, I guess it's harder. I don't know, harder, but I guess it's not as easy as when I was living on the 7 line. But it's not, I don't know, priority. I don't know what to call it. Not always the top of mind to go to a game, especially now the Mets are good. I should be trying to get out there more. I did it. I went to way too many games when they weren't good. But I went to a minor league game earlier this year, like 2 days ago. The minor leagues, the ethics of going to games is still questionable when you think about how they're paid, or lack thereof of pay. Never really feels entirely right to go to a game, but it's still fun, and other people liked going, so and they are getting a little better from my understanding when it comes to paying them. Oh, excuse me. Oh, this is cool. So they got the ramp that went halfway down. Now I can go back halfway up to the other bridge. So this is like one long connected bridge system. So I am going to go walk over Market Street Bridge, which was clearly marked on Google Maps. Taking the long way. Going over here, Phillies Giants game. I guess it's that classic 1950s matchup. So I'm wearing, I tried to blend in, so to speak. I'm wearing a red t-shirt, blue shorts. I guess that's, the Phillies colors. I'm wearing a Mets hat. That's a sneaky Mets hat because it doesn't have the logo as prominent as on regular Mets hats, but repping a little, in my own way. But stadiums nowadays have awful bag policies where, I looked up, you can't even bring a little drawstring bag. The best bag you could bring in is a tote bag, and I don't know if I really want to be carrying that. I didn't even bring one. That's on me for not checking. I think Citi Field let you bring in drawstring bags, so they were pioneers in not letting you bring good bags in, the Mets. But I assumed, and you know what happens when you assume. I assumed I would be able to bring a drawstring bag in, but they are not allowed. They had a very large section on their website, which I checked last night, which I probably should have checked a few days before, but I didn't. You've got bring tote bags. If I had a fanny pack, I could bring that in, or a diaper bag if I had a child. I imagine. and that's about it. And the tote bags. I don't know if it's probably not worth buying a new tote bag just to be able to bring something into the stadium. I don't know what they have against putting bags on backs. I guess safety, which I should be thankful for in a way, but at the same time I should also be very annoyed that this all is needed in the first place. Or it's just a money scheme to get people to pay $10 for a locker to put their stuff in outside the stadium. But I am bagless now. One of the reasons why I'm going to get bubble tea now is just so that way I have something to drink. So that way I don't die of dehydration before getting to go to the game. Which I am excited for. It's going to be fun seeing friends I haven't seen in 3 years. Well, I think that about does it. I've walked the span of this river now 3 times at the end of Market Street Bridge. This was fun, and I don't know if I'm going to post this before or after I end up going to DC and probably walking over the Wetmore Bridge at least. But I am looking forward to doing this more. It's been hard getting out in the city. You know, I'm just having a hard time getting out in general. Going to games, going over bridges. I guess now that I'm trying to date again, it's hard to, if I'm giving weekends up for that, or other times where I would be not, or other times where I would normally walk over bridges. Or it's just also hard to find time to do anything. I want to watch TV, I want to play video games, I want to do all that stuff. I don't know how we found time to do any of that before COVID, when we also had to factor in commuting and things like that. And the more things change, the more they stay the same, I guess. I don't know. Now, maybe even when I'm home, I have a hard time trying to find time to make dinner, because then I also want to work out, which I'm trying to do more too, because I've gotten fat. Okay, I haven't gotten fat necessarily, but fewer clothes fit me as well as they did a year or two ago. And it would be nice to not have to go out and buy all new clothes when I could take the time and the diligence and work on myself a little bit. But that often means that if I'm going to the gym, I'm either pushing back when I eat, eating earlier than I would have liked, I don't know. I'll figure things out. I usually do. Things oftentimes work their way back into my best interest. I mean, even the Poopgate issue from last year, the silver lining with all that was that I got to avoid the awful real estate market of a couple months ago, and even now, where I probably would not have been able to afford maybe anything that I would want to rent anyway. So, jury's still out on whether the building I'm living in now will let me stay. It seems like they've been good from what I have seen, but if they raise my rent $700, I will be piecing out of Hell's Kitchen and moving on to maybe my 6th neighborhood. Or maybe I go back to the Upper East Side. I don't know. But I've already droned on way too much. I'm already several yards away from a bridge. So I will cut this here. From all of us at Jacob Walks Over a Bridge, good day and good night.